That's so hot. I do know why sometimes the coffee's hotter than others, because some evenings I'm taking it right out of the pot, and other evenings I'm heating it up in the microwave, and apparently when I heat it up in the microwave, it's so much hotter than when it comes out of... Holy crap, that's loud. It's so much hotter than when it comes out of the coffee pot. I must nuke the thing for like way too long. I gotta stop doing that. It's way too hot. It burns my lips. So yesterday we started up the SNES version of Prince of Persia, and it's pretty cool so far. Like, genuinely, it's really dope. They took a lot of the older levels and redesigned them, so there's some like levels that are familiar. Sometimes like levels are like flipped, sometimes they're just expanded upon, sometimes places that you go are just changed around. Like they redid stuff, and there's new levels too. Like when the clone knocks you down, your shadow, evil shadow prince or whatever, you go into, not just like you fall back into the dungeon, but you fall underneath the castle or palace, and you're now in like this lava world. It's cool. I mean, like it's definitely different. We made it to level, we haven't even found a level like this. We made it to level 15, maybe 16. I have zero idea how many levels are in this. Zero. We're at 16, and I think the original game had 12. I think Prince of Persia Classic had... Wow, he jumped really quickly off that two-step one. That's pretty impressive. I think Classic had 14, so this one definitely has a considerable amount more of levels than the first game, because we're already 3 or 4 levels ahead. And I think the final level was just a boss fight, so I don't know that you would really consider that much of anything. But it's been fun so far. The enemies are a lot faster. They're not as like clunky as they were in the first game. You move a lot faster. You're still a little goofy in your movement, but nowhere near. It's a lot more intuitive. Like, it's a lot more responsive. In the original Prince of Persia, even in the classic version, what is that? Even in the classic version, it was still super clunky. This actually is more responsive than the remake that came out in 2000 and I don't remember, like 8. That's weird to me. That's weird. Like, a Super Nintendo game is more responsive than a 360 game. I find that strange. Like, that's a decade later, if not more. This came out in 1990 or 91 or something like that. Like, that's crazy that when this came out, like, 15 years later, they made a clunkier version. Does this say what year? 92, so this came out in 92. So Prince of Persia came out in 89, and then this came out in 92, so 3 years later. Crazy, man. Crazy. It's a fun game, though. I've been enjoying it, and like I said, we got... I don't know how the continue system here works. I'm not sure if we'll have to, like, input the password again. The B button, it's the A button. Oh, no. Okay, so it stores your last password? Like, I shut the game down and then turned it back on so it stores the last password. Huh. Okay. That works for me. I'm not questioning it. Okay, so we got to level 16. We got 43 minutes left. We got a lot of health. We got a lot of health. I think this might be the climb one. So maybe we're getting up the tower. This could be, there could only be like a couple levels left here. Potentially. Okay. That's right, the music here is so warbly. It's fine. But we saw the guy up on the other side. Doesn't seem like there's a spot to... I wonder if I could. Seems like a little bit of a... Nope, you can. I would have not expected that. Wow, 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 wow. Right, I see that corpse down there. Means I'm going down here. Okay. Cool. There have been invisible walls, like, everywhere in the game, so... I just assume everywhere we go is death. That's what I was assuming. Everywhere we go is death. I was just assuming that, you know, oh, crap! It's nice that that doesn't nuke your password. Accidentally going in there. Let's go fight the guy up here, I guess. See where he brings us. Punk. Okay, you don't have to jump there. Yeah. So... fighting him was pointless. That was also stupid. Wow, wow, wow. Whoops. So, yeah, fighting that guy is pointless, so we have to go over to the right. Oh, I want to jump up, right. Why? Why? Alright, what's over? Can we go over to the left? Nope. Everything's a trap. Everything is got, son. Everything. Literally everything. Oops. Oops. I really hope that this music was an accident and not on purpose. Okay, so you can't. Got it. Okay. Don't do that. The worst part is, like, the screen flashes so briefly, like, I don't have time to, like, register with my eyeballs, like, what I'm looking at. We'll get it. We'll get it. The music's been decent in the game so far. This is horrid. Okay, so it doesn't appear that there's anything over here that I could do anything with. That gives me information, though. I don't think I have any reason to go down there. Any good reason to go down there. Maybe I have to do it from the other I was trying to jump down to that lower platform. Maybe that was too high. I thought that he would grab regardless. I was sorely mistaken. Say that to your corpse cereal. I got murderized there. Bye-bye! Bye-bye! It's so bad. Like, it's not just a little bad, like, it's real bad. It's not just a little. How am I supposed to do that? That was just like, die, 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 die. I've never seen those before. Oops. I've never seen those before. We don't want that other password. That other password's gonna take, like, time away from me. I've never seen that kind of trap before. I have... No! Where was the menu there? That was very confusing. It's the second time that's happened where the menu is like popped up. Or not popped up. Not popped up. Not quite sure what to do with those blades. I'm gonna try and squeeze in between them. Maybe you can stand in between them without them killing you. We'll give that a shot. We'll give that a shot. No, don't do the same thing again! Just turn around. I'm still waking up. I'm still waking up. That's what I'm gonna say. I've been awake for like 4 hours, but I'm still waking up. I still feel groggy. I haven't got into my true gaming mode. I'm never in a gaming mode. Okay, this time turn around. Look at that. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. That is how you do that. Do that. This easy baby game is getting built for babies and those of baby brainedness. Okay, so we're gonna try something different this time, because what I did last time obviously did not work. Aha! Yup. Yup. Alright, but that's what it was. It was just step by the, those are actual guillotines. Like, I was calling the other thing, like, the guillotine wall, but those seem more like guillotines than anything else we've seen. Alright, well, either way, the chompy wall and the guillotines, they got new traps, and they are a doozies. I was like, dude, I know that there's floor down there, so let's just jump down to the floor, right? It makes sense to me. Like, everything I did there was logical. I'm not sure how we're gonna get by the ground pounder thing. I'll do a fast step. I'll do one of those. Maybe that'll get me far enough by it. Just a run step. No! I don't know why I keep doing that. I don't know why I keep doing that. I keep thinking, oh, he'll adjust, he'll adjust, but he doesn't. I know that. He doesn't turn around. He'll, like, adjust when you're facing the proper direction to jump up to something, but he won't just turn around. I just have to turn around. It's silly on my part. Like, I've done that like 4 or 5 times now. Really need to get that through my thick skull that is not the solution. This music is horrible. Well, on the plus side, I didn't die. You don't have to go all the way back. On the downside, I did fall and we just wasted like 20 minutes. Because it takes 10 billion years to get back. No. I thought we would make it from there. The answer was no. This is all just caution. Yep. I handled it that time. There we go. Go team! That didn't seem fair. I really thought that I went at the correct time there. Like, it came down, I went forward. This is what you do? This is what you do. Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Are you gonna be like that? You gonna be like that? Kicked your ass like 40 times. Now you gonna hit me? You punk. I think it's better to overcorrect than to not correct and do something stupid. Alright, we got it. I now know exactly what we need to do. So we're good. At least I think I know what we need to do. That's close. That is so damn close. I thought the blades were coming down, like, flat, like, facing towards us. No, they're angled. It's angled. It makes so much more sense now. I don't know where we go. Fuck. I don't know how to get out of there. I don't know how to get out of there. Obviously not drop down from there. Whoops. I thought we took a... I think they call them quiet steps, but I thought we took a small step there, not a run. I'm basically just holding the step button down the whole time. It's also the grab. I guess it's the special button. The special. I'm definitely not holding the grab button. Special button seems to do everything for us. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I was hoping when we fell down we would grab onto that. Did not appear that that was the case. I guess that's too far? So yeah, I'm not sure how we get back. We'll have to do a little better. We must drop down from that other platform. When we get there again, we'll take a peeky poo. See if anything makes sense. Not here, but I guess from over here. Yeah, we might be able to do that. I might be able to drop down from there. These blades were definitely confusing my brain. It makes more sense now. No! I thought I just tapped. I guess I held it down too long. I thought the blades were coming down, like, facing towards us, not, like, at an angle across in front of the prince. So it's, like, right in front of his face. It's not like the blade is coming down sideways, like, lengthwise in front of him. I was like, that's weird. It's just perspective. I was just perceiving it in a very strange way. And then all of a sudden, it made sense to my eyes. Like something clicked and I was like, oh, yeah, that looks more normal now. It's weird how your brain can do stuff like that. Like, I've seen people's drawings where I've looked at them and been like, that is such a weird perspective. And then the person, like, starts to, like, explain it, and it's like, oh, shit, yeah, that looks more normal now. It all has to do with perception, but brains are weird, man. Brains are weird. Alright, we got it this time. No mistakes. Whoops. I'm so good at hitting the wrong button. Alright. We're doing great. So what I think the plan is to just keep dropping down. Right? Yep. Cool. Okay, no idea where we're going from here. Okay, that was correct. Nice. Not surprised. Yeah. Don't want to go over here? No, I don't think so. We might have to do this, like, whole thing over again. no idea where we're going. One big fun maze. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna go fight that guy. Dude, they cheat so badly. Level! I don't know. I don't think so, Teak. How you doing, man? Oh, how's the rest of Alone in the Dark? 2. Did you win? $35 left. We were at 17. I have no idea how many... There's death. That's death. You will die there. If you run into that, that'll kill you. This is very awkward. Very awkward. What's gonna kill me here? The fuck is this? The fuck is this? We're fighting Goro? What? Why? Was going alright until an inexplicable magic force field prevented you from putting a token in a music box. I don't know. It's a great question, Teak. I have no idea. No idea. Maybe. Maybe. He sure has a lot of health, doesn't he? What was that? Okay. All right. That wasn't too bad. That was interesting, at least. I wasn't sure why we weren't attacking him. You just needed to make sure that you had enough distance, because when you were close to him, you couldn't stab him. So you needed to be a little bit further away. And those falling skulls, I guess when he was like hitting the ground, he was shaking the rafters, and for whatever reason, there's giant skulls above us, and they were falling down when he hit the when he hit the ground. An inexplicable magic force prevented you from putting a token in a music box. Interesting. Yeah, there's some like really weird moments in Alone in the Dark too. When you said that you were like stuck in Alone in the Dark too, and that you'd have to like figure else something out because you had checked everything, my brain went, I bet you it's the doubloon in front of the music box. I bet you it's the doubloon. I bet you he didn't pick that up, because that doubloon is what made me go crazy. And like, how would you ever see that? It's like 1 pixel wide. Why would you think that's there? Like, yeah, I was like, I bet you that's it. I bet you that's it. And then you walked into the room and I was like, yeah, I see it right there. He's never gonna see that. People walk by that all the time, apparently. That's a bullshit ass thing. It's right there on the ground too. It's right there on the ground. But you would be remiss to say that maybe that's a nail. You know? Maybe that's part of the floor. It'd be easy to overlook that one. Because every time I ran through that room, I did not see that. Yep, that thing is just there. It drops from somewhere? Where does that thing drop from? It drops? I just thought it was there. I don't know what, like, I just figured that that item was just always sitting there. It's just an item on the ground. Yeah, it's just an item on the ground. Yeah, it's just dirty, man. It's just a really small and dirty object just hidden away. It's bullshit. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is bullshit. It's bullshit. Pure, utter bullshit. It just spontaneously appears? Really? I thought it was always there. I'm pretty sure it's always there. I don't think it spontaneously appears. I think it's always been there. It's just, I don't think you notice it. Because it's just so small. Oh, it does? I didn't know that. I thought it was just always there. Alright, what is this? Not good, that's... You know, it's cool. If you're gonna, like, reimagine Prince of Persia, I like the fact that they added in, like, new weird wild traps. Yeah, I had no idea that it spawned in there. So I guess it's supposed to, like, fall out of the machine or something like that? Or it just magically appears. It just magically appears. Alright, can I jump over it? Well, I don't know if I could jump over. Alright, we have to try again. We have to try again. So did you actually find out when it appears, or did you like read like a game facts or something like that that said it appears when you do this? Flame told you? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that hung me up, too. Okay, yeah, I don't think I can go by them. Maybe the tiles above fall down and break it. Or at least guided you in that direction. Yeah, that doubloon is a giant piece of garbage, man. I spent, I don't know how long, an hour and a half just wandering around being like, what else could have I missed? And then like wandered in there and just happened to see out of the corner of my eye, you know, the doubloon there. And I was like, what the fuck? I was very angry too, man. Very, very angry. I'm assuming I have to do that. Don't do that, though. Got it. Got it. It's all about learning. I figured that was a thing over there. So the only way to disable those magic traps is by dropping tiles on them. Yeah, there's some strange bullshit in that game. The ornament also fucked me up too. That one screwed me over as well. Though I did like dressing up as Santa Claus. That's weird. Maybe I don't need to do that. I also don't know how I'm gonna get over there now. Yeah, okay, maybe what I'm doing there is wrong. Maybe we don't need to drop down. I'm thinking maybe there's another tile that'll fall down there too. That would seem pretty straightforward. No, but like picking it up. Getting it was... Like, I walked over to the tree multiple times and, like, never got anything from it. So I wasn't, like, standing in, like, the right spot or whatever. No, once you get the ornament, then it's like, oh, it was getting the ornament what got me. Yeah. Oh, it's not. So I do have to go down there. I wonder how we're gonna get by that, though. Yeah. It's definitely finicky how you do stuff. Oh, we're dead. I forgot. Instantly forgot. Alright, but we do have to go back around. How are you liking it otherwise, though? Okay. Not great. It's a bit more narrative heavy and there's some more varied gameplay. There is. Yep, don't do that. It's definitely more action-oriented as well. You get, like, a whole lot more guns and... more guns. Okay, you can stop jumping. Or... Don't do that. I tried to jump. I was mashing jump button. Dang it. You have to jump again there. Alright, I was right. Like, I figured I was right there. That's good. I just didn't get it. I didn't hit jump until after the screen transition, and I need to be hitting it before then. Got it. It's definitely a lot sillier as well. Like, you're dealing with zombie... mafia, zombie, gangster, bootlegger, vampire, ghosts. Some of the enemies are just like straight up silly and weird, like you're fighting clowns and shit. Zombie pirate gangsters, yeah. Oh, I want to run and jump for this one. Yeah, it's way more tongue-in-cheek, and I kind of, in some way, I like the fact that it did something different, but at the same time, I kind of missed the cosmic horror of the first game. Like, there was something cool going on there, and I kind of was expecting the game to continue that. It's a theme that they sadly, like, at least I don't think ever did return to. What am I supposed to do there? I think that there's like a momentum thing to your swing, so maybe I let go and my body's forward. Like, the game has forced me to fall down once or twice. Like, you can only hang on for so long. I guess he has, like, you know, like a stamina bar for grip strength, so he can only dangle for so long. And we've fallen forward before. Like a tile's worth of movement forward before, so maybe I don't see what else I can do there, so maybe that's it? I just have to let go like really fast. And just keep holding to the right. Because you jump to it and then you're already grabbing. Oh, I did not think I was making that. No, I don't get it. No. No, I was just trying to... My brain froze. My brain froze. My brain froze. I was trying to, like, think of something and, like, I don't... I have no idea. Fortunately, it's a little tedious to get back over there, but it's... I don't know. I'm not sure what we do here. Yeah, I don't get it. Like, what do they want me to do there? To me, that doesn't seem like a thing I can do. I have never once, like, grabbed something and swung in anywhere. His body just drops straight down. I think maybe you have to try to, like, swing in, but... it's just really not making sense to me. Like, everything up till this point, yep, there's a logic to it. Maybe I didn't wait long enough there. Maybe I let go too soon. Maybe I have to wait a little bit longer. This is the only thing I can think, is that his body waves back and forth, so maybe we get some sort of momentum there. Or maybe I don't grab yet. What if I'm grabbing too soon? Ooh. Okay, maybe that's there to screw you up. Yeah, that sounds better. Rather than, like, a mechanic we've literally never used before. Let's try that. I'm gonna try and hit the grab button. I've just been holding it. Maybe that's the problem. We wait. That falling platform is there to screw me up. Yeah. Yeah. And now I think we got it. I think we got it. I put my thinking cap on. I'm pretty sure we got it now. Yeah. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good now. I'm feeling good now. I think we got it. It might not be it. I think we got it. Boogers, man. I just did what I normally do. I just did what I normally do. I have to not do that. Yeah, I think that falling platform is put there to prevent you from just holding the grab button. I think that's what it is. Oh, no, we're not doing that. It's very easy to like you're falling to your doom. It's very easy to think, I would like not to do that. So I'll grab this. Very easy to do that. Alright, 9th time's the charm. We got it this time. You probably don't. I'm probably gonna panic and just grab the button again. And hold on for dear life. No, dude, Well, I did hesitate. I hit it directly when I got to the tile. So I did wait longer that time, just not long enough. My brain was just like, do it now, do it now, do it now. If this really is the thing that you do, it is a fraction of a second. What if you just jump? Do you think I could just land in there? What if I don't even need to hit the grab button? Maybe that's the unintuitive part. Maybe you could just land in there. I'm gonna try that. I'm not gonna hit anything. I keep coming up with new ideas before I can even implement the first idea. That first idea seems hard. I got panic fingers, man. My fingers aren't built for pressure. They're built for quick, panicky reactions. Scrambled. Like my brain. Nope, you needed to grab. Just a very late grab. We were not making that. I saw it instantly. I was like, I'm not making that. There's no way I'm making that. Well, I'm going in there. Second one's a trap and it kills you. Oh, there's a checkpoint. I don't think it did anything for my health either. Like, it restored my health and then I took damage, but I don't think we got any more by doing that. Great. Great. Double great. I'm not going in there. Alright. Doing what I'm doing is not smart, so what we do is I walk to the edge of the platform and I just jump over it. I don't run. that don't run. You're like, Serial, why'd you stop there? You had a checkpoint. We were wasting time. I don't know how many levels are left. We have a limited amount of time. I don't know how under the gun we actually are. And now I know how to make it over there, so... I think we'll be okay. We may not. I may never get back into there again. Alright, the only thing I have to do is make sure that I wait. I wait until we get below that that platform. I panic jumped. That's why I got them panic fingers. I got them panic fingers. Oh, it's still so hot. It's so hot. This is probably my least favorite song in the game. I do not like this song. Do not like that. The other music's been fine. This stuff's been questionable at best. Damn it, fake Konami. Damn it! Alright, we got it now. It's easy. Cool that there's a checkpoint in the level, though. I appreciate that. It is a bit of a dicey section that we have to get through here. I think I just hit the jump button a little too late there. You got chopped up. Easy. Easy. Easy like Sunday morning. I just wanted my health back. Alright, I got it. We don't... I just walk up to that and then jump over the ledge. That's what we do. Nice, he'll keep the door open for us. What a sucker. Okay, I think the idea is they want you to think that it's like a big jump, but it's not. Right? Okay, that seems like a big jump though. There's no way I could have expected that, right? It's like... I didn't mean to do that. Crap! Crap! Punk. Punk. That is... It's a bit rough. Bro! He destroyed me! I don't know what would have happened if we backed him up all the way over there. I was afraid he'd go off screen, and then I wouldn't be able to do anything. I feel like that's too much time wasted there. Dang it, man. We had one hit left. One hit! One hit! Well, I know what to do now. Guess we got that going on. So close. Well, again, shouldn't be too bad getting back over there. I know exactly what we're doing. So it's just execution, right? And when it comes to execution, you know, I'm great. Definitely stopping for that health now. Fuck me. Execution. Just brain farted there. We needed one more jump. I thought maybe they were gonna put us like right before the boss. they didn't. So we had to do that whole section again, so I was just like, you know what, screw it. Whoops. I jumped way too early there. I'm not used to running across those tiles. I wasn't sure when I had to hit the jump button. Not then. It was way too early. I thought to myself, why am I not just like running across the tiles here? Because they're there. It's not like they're gonna kill me. I was just hitting it before we did the screen transition. Now we're good. I wonder if you can just like run through there and jump. That'd be pretty cool. You're on a one tile, I don't know what that is, column there. Somehow feel like he can't do that. Prince is, agile, but not that agile. That's pretty easy. Let's go grab the health again. That's just a full heal. You know, I'll take a full heal. Alright, yeah, you die there. Right. I remember, I think. I did. It's good. I like it when I remember. I like it when that happens too. All right, easy. Guy's not gonna kick my ass this time. What am I supposed to do? He's a god. What the hell? For whatever reason, we're not hitting him. And when he blocks my attack, I can't parry his next attack. Like, it literally won't let me. No matter how quick I am, I can't parry that again. Like, I'm immediately, like, I know he's gonna, if my attack doesn't land, I know, so I'm immediately hitting parry again. It does nothing. It does nothing. All right. Try again. I'll take that. Oh, I'll take that. That was unintended. Yippee. Holy mackerel, man. I was kicking my butt again. Oh no. Probably gonna have to go over to the left there, but nope. Have a what does that other button do? Yep. One HP though. Sorry, I don't need a ton of HP. Please don't let there be an enemy in front of the exit here. I'm assuming the exit's here. Oh. We're taking it. We had to continue once, but we're taking it. 19, huh? Man, how many levels are in this? I mean, there's no point in running all the way back there to get that. Neat. Son of a bitch. At least it's a fast reset. It always ends too fast. Char Yoshi, thanks so much for that raid, homie. I appreciate it. What were you playing? What were you getting into? Maybe it's something new this evening. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the same thing you play all the time. How you doing, man? Welcome on in. Thank you so much for bringing your people over to my people. If you're new here, I'm Serial Killer. Hi, how you doing? We're playing Prince of Persia for the Super Nintendo. I think we're getting closer to the end, but I don't know. I don't know. Not the double but yeah, basically. The double I don't know the double Someday, eventually, you'll try something different? I got you. You did trademark. Nice. Well, how did the stream go? You have fun? You have a good time? I believe you. It's totally true. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. This is very confusing. I can make that, maybe. What? Huh? I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea. That did not go well. Right. Where are we going? Let's look around more. Okay, there's a door there. There's a door there. So this level's like a huge maze. I fell. So if you're wondering why we keep quitting out, is we're under a timer. And if I don't quit out like that, then the timer continues to tick. And that's bad for us. We don't want it to do that. So if I go back and we go to continue, the timer resets. Which is a good thing. Okay, lots of places. Okay, that opened that. Cool. Is this gonna break? Yep. I'm gonna guess that's what that was for. Okay, good. That all went well. I need to hit that switch on the bottom first. Right, that's the way that seemed. Oops. The way that seemed to me. Let's hit the switch on the bottom first, then go upsy-dupsies. I don't know what we're doing. We're just kind of exploring the level right now, trying to figure out what we can and can't do. Alright, but that'll make life easier. Aha! Cool. What do you think that switch opened up? Like, why would have I hit that switch? What did that do? It didn't do anything here. What does that do? What are these switches opening? That open that? Maybe I have to hit all the switches? Alright, I hit another switch there. Right. That's open. That doesn't help me. I have to do that again? There's no fucking way I can do that again. Maybe we opened up a door further up? Just keep going up. Nope. Nope. So very confused right now. Blanc? What? I don't know. So very confused right now. I mean, that does something. Where it does something, I don't know. But that does something. That opens that top gate. This opens... Why did you just not step out? Why did you not do a baby step? Mother of farts. So many of these jumps that I never remember which one is. Okay, that has to do something. We just see like a random open gate. Maybe we're good. Alright, that switch that we just hit had to have done something. There were gates over here. Did not do anything to those gates that we can tell. That just led, like, back over here on some big-ass loop shit. Okay, so that's what I needed to do there. Nothing there. So that means it has to be over here, right? Okay. Now do we just go all the way up? Lots of falling tiles. Feel like that was right. Where am I going though? Am I screwed here? I don't remember what we've done. Please don't kill me. Dang it. No, 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 no. It's okay. Oh my god. Final boss? I have to fight my clone? It's cheating! It's cheating! Oh, thank God we got a checkpoint here. If I had to do like a 20-minute level again. They make us run through the entire hallway. That seems unnecessary. Yes, 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 come on. Very little time left. It has such greater reach than I do. I'm panicking. I'm not fighting smart. Can't spend 10 minutes here, though. I like the severed goat head above the altar, though. There's multiple ones. It's great. How I want my altar to be. I can't do it. Might have to do this level again. No! We had him! Oh! We had him! I was gonna be... Not a skeleton! No! Why are there 30 enemies? I don't know! There's like 3 trillion bosses! Please be the end! Why is there more? I don't know if we have time. That took me 15 minutes. The bosses aren't too bad. If you can parry them if you parry them and then attack quickly, then it ain't too bad. There's like 2 minutes left, man. This better be the last level. It's very nice outside. If we go and just fight the boss here, then we're good. If this is just fight Jafar, then everything's fine. If level 20 is the last level, we're great. If there's like 10 more levels, we're hosed, Davey, we're hosed. Okay, cool. What was that? That was pretty exciting. That was pretty exciting. Yeah. Yeah, just get fucked. He doesn't seem too bad, though. He's got a one-hit kill. Somehow we were getting hit by that before and it wasn't doing anything. So, not entirely sure what we got going on here, but... Do we win? Suck that, Jafar. The tyrant Jafar lies defeated, his power shattered. Throughout the land, the people of Persia hail their princess, and the brave youth who saved her from the force of darkness. No longer a stranger, he shall from this day forth be known as Prince of Persia. Yeah, this is the best version of Prince of Persia. There's no question about it. It is. But to get that appreciation, you have to play the other ones. You have to know where this is all coming from. It's still a really fun game, but it definitely feels like the best version of Prince of Persia. One, it's one of the nicest looking ones. Like, the 16-bit graphics are great. There's a lot of animations to the characters. I feel like they're more fluid in the DOS version. But the graphics in this just obviously just look much, much better than 1989, 1990, whatever, you know? They look a lot better. You know, the 16-bit era adds a lot. It also adds music. There is a bunch of music. Some of it's bad. Like that last level with the warbling music, that was horrendous. That was horrendous. But a lot of the music in the game is good. I like the level design. It can get a bit confusing when they get big. Like that final level that we were on, like having to run all over the place and like knock down tiles. Really cool concept, just very confusing because it's not quite clear what you're accomplishing. You know you have to do it because it seems like, okay, we're doing something here, but just what? But yeah, it for 16-bit it looks nice. I mean, especially compared to the last game. You don't really see facial features or anything. They're just kind of plain colors. But the Prince has a lot of animations. Combat is... everything's faster in this. Like, everything's more responsive. I still screwed up and ran off cliffs and stuff like that, but not nearly as much as I thought I would. There's some slowdown here and there where I feel like the game was kind of eating combat inputs sometimes. Like, I would hit the X button and he just wouldn't do jack shit. Like, you would go to attack, and then I'd go to follow up, and then he wouldn't do anything, and then I'd stop hitting it, and then there would be a pause, and then he would be like, huh, 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 and I'm like, I'm not even hitting buttons anymore. There's some weird things going on every once in a while, and I'm not sure what that is. Like, you queue stuff up sometimes, like, inputs just don't respond in a right manner, and sometimes quick button pushes kind of confuse the game. That aside, combat's kind of simple. If you can get an enemy against the wall like we did there, you just stab, 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 and they just bounce off and take a hit, and bounce off and take a hit, bounce, and I think that's intended. Weirdly enough, I think that's intended. But the best way to do combat is, you know, you stab a guy, they back up a little bit, you go towards them, you usually have some time to get off like a couple quick hits when you approach. The nice thing in this one is that you could just hold left and right. In the other games, you had to tap forward to move forward. This one, you just like continually slide forward. That's a nice change. So, you know, you parry a dude, so you have a parry button, your block button or whatever. If you're not instantly stabbing somebody after you parry, and I mean instantly, like fast, they're gonna block it. Especially the bosses. The bosses, if you take any time after you parry, you're not hitting them. You have to, like, instantly hit them to get them to back up. I was nervous for a while, a couple of times, because I thought that if I pushed a boss to, like, a wall, they would go off screen and then I'd be hosed, but apparently not. Apparently that's not a thing. We discovered, you know, right at the end of the game that that's not a thing that's going to happen. They're just going to bounce off the wall, which is beneficial to us. If I had known that before, I had so many times gotten an enemy backed up and been like, all right, we got in, you know. But the cool thing is you can back enemies into traps, you can back enemies off cliffs, you could do that in the original one too. It's really cool. So you don't have to kill them with just your sword, you can utilize the environment. You can also switch positions with enemies. If you get up close, either you attack or you parry, like right next to them, you'll switch a position. And so if your back is to, you know, like a pit, you can get up close to the enemy, switch position, and then knock them off. And you actually had to do that a couple of times. Some cool mechanics in there. The level design's really cool too. There's a bunch of new levels. It's the levels that were in the originals are reimagined, so they're altered in some form or way. Sometimes rooms are like flipped, sometimes like new areas are completely added to older areas, and then there's like brand new levels. There's 20 levels in this, and there's only 12 in the original, so there's 8 new levels added to this. Really cool. Like that last level that we were doing was brand new. One of those levels when you drop down, when the prince knocks you down, the evil prince, the dark prince, your clone, or your shadow knocks you down. There's a couple of levels down there. I think like the 3rd or 4th level is brand new. So they're interspersed. It's not like you go through the 12 levels and then here's brand new ones. They evenly spread them out throughout the game. That's cool. And I like the fact that they changed some of the old levels, because Prince of Persia Classic and Prince of Persia are largely the same game. So I kind of got used to the level layouts, and this one, there's familiarity, but also like, oh, that's different. There's a bunch of invisible walls. There seems to be more than enough big health in the game, because we had full health a few levels, I guess, before the end of the game. And so when we were picking up like the extra health vials, they were just healing me. I don't think that they added like an invisible extra health to you. Like, okay, you picked up maximum health, now your health has armor, so you could take one extra hit. I don't think it was anything like that. I think it was just, you can have however much, 10 health, 15 health. I didn't count how much we had. It was a lot. It was a lot, but there was a maximum, but there were more than enough health containers, like extra health containers throughout the world. Some of them were deviously hidden. Some of them were like hidden in invisible walls. There was one early on where I saw like this eyeball on a tile, and I went, let's check if there's something over here. And the prince pulled himself up and went through, you know, like what looked like a dead end. And I went, oh shit. And throughout the game, there were places like that. We probably missed a few. Considering I didn't know that we were looking for something like that, we probably missed a few. There was also one room where I thought we got trapped in. I was like, I don't know how to get out of this. And the prince just pulls himself up literally through a wall. There was some deviously hidden stuff. There's not really much of a point talking about the story, but there's like cool cutscenes. Like they're a little bit more like, there's more I don't know, still images for the story. That's cool. The in-between stuff is still, it seems the same, like the princess just sitting there waiting by the hourglass. That largely seemed the same too. But yeah, the controls are a bit better, they're more snappy, so if you go from playing the original Prince of Persia, and it's really clunky and sluggish, this one's a lot more responsive. It's still a little clunky, but it's way more responsive, and you move much faster in this one, and that took me a little bit of time to get used to, because we played 2 games where the character moved kind of slow, and then this one you're moving a bit faster. Combat's also a bit faster, too. Combat's a little bit slower paced than the first game, and this one is definitely a lot faster, so that took some getting used to. You gotta wait until you see the enemy's arm move. Once you see the arm move, you can go. The enemy also has a bit greater reach than you. At least it felt like they did. Maybe they don't, but it seemed like they did. There were instances where I would reach out to try to poke the enemy, but they would reach out and they would still hit me in the face. So it seems like they had slightly longer reach than you. Also, there were a lot of instances. Combat could be dicey because you would have to close the distance. Enemies don't close distance enough that you can hit them. So you kind of have to do the distance closing. And when I was trying to close distance, enemies are like hacking me, and it didn't seem like the parry would come out quick enough while you were walking. So I would be like getting close to an enemy, hitting the parry button, and I'm just getting smacked in the face. Like I'm sitting there like mashing the parry button. I'm just like, ow, my face, ow, my face, ow, my face. It seems like they can attack really fast. So you gotta be really careful in combat. Combat can be tough. It can get out of hand really fast. It can go really well. Like if you're in control and you're maintaining things, it's all right. But once it gets out of control and you're not in that dance, that rhythm anymore, yeah, things go bad fast. Things go bad fast, and you gotta get back into the dance again. There were some tough jumps, some things that kind of felt a little unintuitive, but overall, like they kept you on your toes. Like, you're like, oh, I've seen this jump before, and they were constantly adding new things. Like, in this game, they added in whatever those, like, insta-death magic gates were. They're, like, magic puddles? I don't know what to call them. They're whirlpools? I don't know. They murdered you. They had, conveyor belts. That was new. They had these big cinder block swamp chain things dropping from the ceiling, along with like guillotine things as well, along with the doors, the giant like crunch doors, teeth doors. Those were there too, so they added in some new mechanics as well, which is really cool. The upside down thing makes a return. I don't know if there was ever a insta-death potion in the original games, but there was definitely one in this one. We found it and died to it. But yeah, they kept things fresh constantly with the levels, so you would see a jump and you'd go, oh, I know how to do this. But then they would slightly mix it up. So they were constantly, like, changing how you approach things. And I appreciate that. You can no longer do the same thing. There were a couple of ones where I was having, like, a hard time trying to figure out. I think it was, like, level 14 or 15. It was an obstacle we had seen in the previous games, but they had changed it up enough that I didn't quite know how to get through it, and it took me a while to figure it out because it seemed kind of unintuitive. We eventually got it. It just seemed weird at first, and I eventually figured out a process that worked for me. Sometimes I feel like there might be multiple ways through something, like you can approach things slightly differently. Some things are a bit more efficient than others, but it's cool that it gives you that option. Most of the time it's jump over obstacle, but sometimes it's like, how are you going to approach certain obstacles? I think that's cool. Yeah, it's a fun game. I definitely think that this is the best of the Prince of Persia games that I've played. The 3 that I've played. Versus the DOS version, the 360 version, the Super Nintendo one's probably the best. The funny thing is, the 360 version feels super clunky. It feels less clunky than the DOS version, but it still feels clunky because they're still trying to replicate that what do they call these platformers, cinematic platforms? It's still trying to replicate. It's not veering enough away from it. I think if they made the controls a lot more forgiving, smooth, responsive in the 360 version, they add in cool mechanics like being able to jump off of walls and being able to do backflips and stuff like that, so you don't have to turn around. You can just backflip over to something. If you're running at full speed and you realize, oh, the thing I need to grab is above my head, the prince will just jump off the wall, turn around, and grab that ledge behind you. So it's not necessarily that... Like, it just makes the game a little bit more fluid. But the game still plays very clunky like the original one. And I think if they, like, added those new mechanics in, I wish, like, everything just flowed a bit better in that one. And that's kind of what happens here. This is a little bit of a between, but also a bit of like an advantage as well. It's not as smooth with like the platforming like the 360 version where you can jump off of walls and stuff like that, but it feels more fluid, it feels more snappy, it feels more responsive. I like that. I like that. There's something to be said about the old cinematic platformer stuff that the Prince of Persia started. You know, it's much more, it's precision in a different way. It's a more tactical, methodical way of approaching platforming. You know, and I appreciate for what it is. It's nice to see it. I had never played them before, so it's cool to see where these came from. Like, where that kind of genre inspired those kind of, like, puzzle platformers and what was birthed from it. Granted, that kind of thing is not used much. There aren't many games that use this style. And, I mean, I understand why, too. It's clunky. I mean, you've got stuff like Flashback and Another World and Blackthorn and I don't know of any others. Like, are there other games in the genre? Do people still make cinematic platformers? I mean, would you put something, say, like Limbo or Inside? I forget the name of the studio that does those, but would you put those in the same category as this? Cinematic platform. Like, there's gotta be others out there. Oh, Heart of Darkness. I've never heard Beyond Dark Castle. That looks like a modern throwback one. Weird Dreams? Never even heard of that one either. Flashback. On Escape. I've never heard of that. I don't even know how old that one is. Blackthorn. Heart of Darkness. I've never played Heart of Darkness. That was a PlayStation game. I've always wanted to check that one out. SOS. Survival cinematic platformer based on the Poseidon adventure. That could be cool. Out of This World. Oddworld Abe's Exodus. Yeah, I guess Oddworld. I guess the early Oddworld games kind of are. You're a little clunky. You're very precise with your movements. I can see Oddworld being part of that. The first couple of Oddworld games being part of that. I can see that. I can see that. Those are really good games, too. Well, I haven't played them. I haven't played the original two Oddworld games. Maybe not since they came out, but it was high school. It was high school. I remember this time. We rented, I think, the sequel to Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, which is Exodus. Oddworld Abe's Exodus. And my buddy was having a house party. And he was trying to impress this girl. And he was like, yo, G, tell this girl about that game we was playing. And I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, man, it's really fun. Tell her about it. And she was just looking at me. And I was like, this is not the girl you impress with video games, dude. Like, some people are cool with that. This is not the one. Like, it's like ingrained in my brain. Like, anytime I think of Oddworld, I think of the fact that my buddy tried to impress a woman with a video game, and I was like, yeah, that was not the one to do that. that was not the way to do that. You've always wanted to play Oddworld. They're worth it. They remade the first Oddworld Abe's Odyssey like 10 years ago. It was on the PS4. It's really fun. So if you don't want to play the original, you can play the remake, and the remake's really good. This story was last Tuesday, by the way, chat. Nah, this was in high school. I'm not in high school anymore. That was funny. That was funny. You can't rent video games anymore. Where am I going to rent a PlayStation video game? What's up, Bill? That always made me giggle, though. I was like, damn, man, my buddy, he ain't got no game. He trying to use video games. I feel bad for him. Alright, well, I mean, it took like 2.5 hours. Let's play something new.